in today's session of Divorce Court.
Ginger Lott says when she got pregnant with their son, Raymond let her know exactly how he felt.
I'll take care of him, but I don't want to have nothing to do with you.
What?
Look, she loved me, but I didn't love her.
You shouldn't have married if you didn't love her.
45 minutes after we married, she come tell me she wasn't seeing another guy.
Now that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Mr. Lott, she had the baby. I don't see him because of her. She was the one having an affair. Why don't you point that finger this way?
Now Ginger Lott gets her day as she faces Raymond Lott in this session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a matter of Raymond Lott versus Ginger Lott. I'm advised, Mrs. Lott, after 6 years of marriage, you're ready to end it. Why is that?
Yes, Your Honor. Pretty much Raymond came to me and told me in the middle of the marriage that he no longer wanted to be married to me. He didn't love me, and he only married me for our kids, and that just like totally blew my mind. So if he wanted to be such a good father, then why wasn't he providing for our kids? Why was I the only person working?
So wait a minute. Halfway through the marriage, which is about 3 years into the marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
Your husband walked up to you one day and said, you know why I married you, girl? You was pregnant with my children. That's the only reason I married you. That's what you're telling me?
Pretty much that's what he told me.
So how did the conversation come about? I mean,
Your Honor, in our marriage, there was a lot of cheating going on. There was a lot of cheating going on his part, and the fact that he can pretty much keep a stable job. He had a problem with keeping a job.
Your Honor, don't call my name again. I hear you.
See,
Wait a minute, Mr. Lott. Let her finish.
All right.
For some reason, Raymond doesn't understand that it takes money to have and to raise kids, and I was the only one working, and he wasn't working, so pretty much we couldn't provide the way we're supposed to for our children.
And so you had an argument about his failure to work and his failure to provide?
We had many arguments about that.
And that's when he told you that he only married you because of the children?
No, he told me he only married me because of the kids when it came to play about his ex-girlfriend and him wanting to be with her.
Oh, now tell me the context of that conversation.
In our marriage, I say less than a year, we broke up because he decided that he wanted to be with her instead of me.
Her? The ex?
Yes, the ex.
So after he married you, he was still hanging on to her?
Yes, he was still hanging on to this woman.
And he said he only married you because of the fact that you were pregnant with his child?
At the time, I already had the child.
Oh.
So when we got married, he claimed he loved me so much and that he wanted to be with his son as well.
But you don't believe that?
Now, no, I don't.
Did you ever believe it?
Yeah, in the beginning, I did believe that he loved me and our child, but if he loved us so much, he would have got a job and provided for both of us.
So he never worked?
He worked every now and then.
Every now and then. Did he eat every now and then?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Or did he eat all the time?
All the time.
Oh, so how is it that you can eat all the time but work every now and then? I was told a man don't work, don't eat.
Your Honor, see, what it is that's none of that is true. When I first married her, before we got married, I told her I didn't love her. Now, see,
wait a minute.
Just listen. Now, wait a minute. Now, out of rational thinking, you wouldn't think that a person would marry a person that told you, I don't love you.
And I wouldn't think that a person would tell a person, I don't love you, and marry him.
I don't look, the situation was when I saw my son.
What you mean when you saw your son?
Look, we had a previous relationship.
So you and she had a relationship before you married her?
Right.
She got pregnant.
When I came back, you know, she was pregnant. Well, she had the baby, and I came to see the baby. And when I found out that the baby was mine, you know, I
How did you find out then that the baby was yours?
Because I saw a brother.
But you did her brother?
Yeah, her brother informed me that she had a baby. I mean, I thought, you know, when I left, she was lying. But when he told me that she actually had the child, I wanted to see for myself. So I went and saw this, you know, he is my son, but, you know, when I got
how did you know then that was your son?
You can look at him.
I can't deny my son. I mean,
he looked just like you?
Yes, ma'am. He looks exactly like me, so.
Oh, you got a big smile on your face now. You're pretty proud of that,
I love my son. Now, see, that's what I'm telling you. I love my children, but I didn't love the mother.
All right, Miss Lott, hold on.
I didn't love the mother. Now, I told her this.
You didn't love the mother?
I mean, the first day after I saw my son, you know, I spent time with her to get an understanding about how we were going to, you know, deal with the child, but, you know.
Called raising the child. That's what it is.
Right. And so when we got together, I told her, you know, I'll take care of him, but I don't want to have nothing to do with you.
That's what you told her?
Right.
In order for me to marry this man had to tell me he married me. I'm not going to marry anybody that doesn't love me.
We got married.
Wait a minute, Mr. Lott, he walked up to you and said, honey, let's get married, but I want you to know now.
No, he did not tell me any of this, and that is just a lie.
Okay. Just
he did not tell me.
Lie, huh?
No.
It can't get no bolder.
Now, after we get married, now this 45 minutes after we married, she come tell me she wasn't seeing another guy.
What?
45 minutes after we been married.
Well, of course, that didn't bother you now.
Oh, yes, it did.
It shouldn't bother you. Don't love
Because I couldn't trust her. I mean, why you always tell me not to do something and you go and do it?
But, Mr. Lott, if you married her just for the sake of your son, so the two of you could be in the same house together, and you couldn't figure out any other way, you really didn't expect her to be a loving, trusting, caring wife if you're going to look her in the face and say, I don't want you.
Well,
I just want to be in this house with you so you can be with my child. What did you expect her to do?
I didn't really have an idea what she was going to do.
Oh, you double talking on me.
No, but I didn't know what she was going to do. You know, honestly, I thought that, we were going to raise a child, but I didn't know we were going to have all these problems. So I would have just told her.
What problems? You going into the marriage not expecting it to be a marriage. So it means to me that she could have done whatever she wanted to do, and you shouldn't have been upset.
You know, I just...
You shouldn't have married her if you didn't love her.
I shouldn't have married her. That's just straight up.
And if you didn't intend to be a loyal and a faithful and committed husband, you shouldn't have married her. And you shouldn't have stood before that altar and taken that vow. And you shouldn't have let those words come out your mouth knowing it was a lie.
Y'all know, I'll admit I was a bad husband, but I wasn't a bad father.
Yes, he's a bad father as well.
Why was he a bad father?
Due to the fact that he would not provide for his children. He still does not. He has not seen our children in 5 months.
Both of them, you can't talk.
Your Honor. He has not seen our kids in 5 months.
You mean kids?
We have 2 children.
You mean you had another one?
Yes,
I had. From a man that didn't love you? What did you say?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why it was a lie. Now who's going to stay married to somebody, anybody that doesn't love them, and then going to have 2 kids? Now, that doesn't make any sense. Somebody lying.
Well, you know, I tell you what, it may not make a lot of sense, but I've heard that story before.
So, not from me. Not from me. That's just not.
So you had a second child.
Let me tell you why she had the second baby. Now
why she had the second baby?
Like I can make a baby by myself.
Did you contribute some of that sperm?
Well, I had something to do with it, but what I'm saying is I didn't want to be with her, and she kept worrying about me leaving her to go to this other female, knowing that I'm in love with this person, but she felt like she could have another baby, and that was going to keep us together.
Well, obviously, wait a minute. Baby. Obviously, you must have felt like if I give her another baby to keep us together, because
No.
What did you do to keep her from having a baby, Mr. Lott? Because you had something to do with it.
I can't say I didn't.
He didn't do it.
Well, obviously, you wasn't worried about this woman having another child that you didn't love, because you contributed.
I didn't say I didn't love the children. I love the children.
No, I said the woman.
Yeah, well.
So why did you let her have a second child?
I let her have? I mean...
Yeah, you let her have, because you let her have that sperm.
Well, she could have... What could she couldn't have did anything to prevent this, too? I mean, it was just...
I wanted another child.
See what I'm saying?
I
she already tell you she wanted another baby. What you want a baby with somebody you don't care about?
Because you didn't like her.
I didn't say I didn't love... I loved this man when I married him. I wouldn't have married him if I didn't love him.
But I didn't love her.
That's my point, Mr. Lott. So if you didn't, why did you keep having sex with her? And why did you keep having unprotected sex?
Because I was living with her.
Oh.
That don't mean
I'm walking around the house. I'm with somebody that I live with. I mean, now this is the mother of my children.
People live together all the time without having sex.
This is the mother of my
together.
children. We sleep in the same bedroom. We're in the same house, on the same roof, and men and women are in the same house.
Just move on to something else.
When divorce court returns, will Raymond's testimony backfire on him?
If I can't see my kids, I'm not going to pay for them. I mean, I want to see them.
Oh, Lord, let's just end this little debate right now.
Are you involved in a dispute with a neighbor, friend, relative, or business person? Take your case to a new court show and be represented by a prominent attorney. Call 877-777-0099. Divorce court is back in the case of Raymond Lott, who says his marriage to Ginger was a sham because he never loved her.
Anyway, Your Honor. Furthermore, he hadn't seen our kids in 5 months.
Now tell me about that. You love them so much.
Ask her why I haven't seen.
No, I'm gonna ask you why.
Why
that was because of her. Now she moved from
Here we go.
She moved from where.
Let me see your finger again. That's because of her.
Yeah.
You like to point the other way.
Don't.
Yeah, I do.
She had the baby. I don't see it because of her. She wanted to get married. She was the one having an affair. Why don't you point that finger this way?
I mean, and then after we separated, she waits and she moves a new man. Now, she was just so in love
Mr. Lott,
with me.
I'm talking about you not seeing
another man.
You said I don't see the children because of her. Point the finger to yourself.
Why don't you see our kids?
No, Miss Lott, I got this under control. Point the finger to yourself.
Okay, now, the reason being
Now tell me
because
why Mr. Lott doesn't see
she
the children.
moved from one place to another. She didn't tell me where she moved to.
Didn't
then,
ask either.
when I called her, I would try to talk to the kids. She would tell me, no, I can't talk to them.
Wait a minute.
She's controlling the phone.
Let me deal with that. He didn't have to ask
What to?
where
I live?
you were moving to. You had his 2 children. He didn't have to ask. If you're moving, it's your responsibility.
I did tell him where I'm. Your Honor, we moved
Why
in the
did you cut
same
me off?
apartment complex.
Why did you cut me off?
I came here to get.
Did you just hear me talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Now, why did it was your responsibility to tell him. He didn't have to ask. If you're doing the moving,
Yes, ma'am.
and you have the children, the burden is on you to say to the parent who doesn't have the children, we're moving, and this is where we're moving to. As a matter of fact, the real way to do it and the best way to do it legally is to say to the other parent, I'm considering moving, particularly if it's out of the state or
We didn't
out of
move
the
out of state.
county.
We didn't
If
move
it-
out of
okay,
county.
if it's within
We
the
moved
same
in the same
area. All right, so all you
complex.
had to do, the burden is on you
But
to
he has
say,
my
I'm
phone number.
moving. Now go on to another issue.
Now, when I asked
But that
her, I
still
mean, now,
doesn't
when I
justify
called,
you not seeing them.
No,
Once she
no.
didn't tell you, did you try to
No,
find out?
No, ma'am, because
Why
I
not?
because I asked her, could I see the children?
And what'd she say?
She brought them to me one time, and then once.
And what kept your feet from getting over there to see them?
Well, see, what it was she moved, and I didn't know exactly where she moved to. And then I had a phone number, so I called her.
Okay.
But when we would get into it, she wasn't trying to tell me where she lived. That's just like the
Now-
point she wanted me
now,
to
Mr.
ask
Lott,
her or beg her to
if-
tell me where she lived.
If you wanted to see your children, ask, beg, plead, hire an investigator, go to the telephone company, ask the post office for a forwarding address. If you really, really, really wanted to see those children, you do whatever. Never heard about court orders for custody, right?
No.
Because you're
And
still
actually-
young.
Well, actually, when she moved, my older son, he decided he wanted to stay with me, and he didn't want to live with her. She got mad because the boy wanted to live with me.
That's a
Evidently,
lie.
there
My
was
son
something
has
wrong.
never asked
She,
me.
she calls me telling
so
me.
wait a minute, but
"Well,
she's
come get
saying
your
you
son."
haven't seen them. So if he hasn't seen them, does that also mean he's not paying for them?
Yes, ma'am. He hasn't paid for them.
Now,
Well, he hasn't paid to do anything, pretty much. The
Now-
whole time
Wait
that
a minute.
the whole time that we have been together, Raymond has hardly worked, and he hasn't taken care of our kids. Period.
Well, I can't deal
No,
with
that's
when
not-
you were together, but I
talking
can deal
about
with
now.
since you've been apart.
Since we've been apart, like I said, he hadn't seen them in 5 months, and that's because I didn't take them to go see him.
Well,
which
what about the support?
We don't get any support from
He
Raymond.
hasn't given you any money.
None at all.
And I suppose you haven't heard of courts either and asking for support.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I have. I've actually filled out 2 forms for that.
But you still haven't gotten a court
No, I
order.
haven't gotten anything.
Now, Mr. Lott, why haven't you sent any money? I know why you haven't seen them, because you didn't know where they lived.
Your Honor, what I'm saying is if I can't see my kids,
You
I'm
can't
not,
pay.
I'm not finna pay for them. I mean, I want to see them. I want to see them be with me. I mean, for all I know, she got a new man. She telling
got
me
a
what
new
she
woman.
need. Now, she need money, but she got a man that's supposed to help her take care of her bills or whatever. She ain't approached
No,
me with
these are
what
our
our
kids
children
together.
need.
I take care of
Now,
our
Well,
children.
well,
she
wait a
went-
minute.
What
She didn't
about you?
approach you with what your children need?
No,
Why she have to approach you, Mr.
because,
Lott?
okay, now, beforehand, I was paying money to take care of the kids. She,
No,
We're
he
talking about
was
since
not.
you've been separated.
Since we've been separated,
No.
out of the time that they
And when we
were,
were
they've
married,
been
no.
here maybe like 5 months.
Well, 5 months.
Look,
Our
no,
children have
maybe-
been here longer than 5 months.
That, you know what? I want to deal with since you've been separated, whether it's 5 months, 5 days, 5 years, 5 hours.
minutes.
What have you done to support them?
Nothing, because I haven't seen them.
And if you can't see your children, you're not going to support your children.
That was a rule she made. I didn't make
No,
that
no, no,
rule.
no, no. You just
Wow.
said that. If I can't see them, I'm not paying for them. That's what you said.
Your Honor, the only reason I didn't give her any money was, first of all, because I couldn't see them. And then I didn't know, where am I going to send the money to? I don't know where you live.
You had a phone number.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can
for
get that out
a
the phone
brief
book.
moment. Then she
No,
changed the
our
phone number on
even
me.
list.
And I didn't get that until we were ready
With
to
the
appear on the
address.
show.
You know what, Mrs. Lott? That's another reason why you should have given him the address where you live, because then he wouldn't have that little flimsy excuse of, I didn't know where to send the money. Again, that you cut off your own nose, because you knew
Your
that's
Honor,
what he
due
was
to
going
the
to
fact
say.
that His whole logic behind the whole situation, oh, you living with some other man, why isn't he taking care of it?
And that's exactly why you didn't want him to have your address, because you were living with another man.
No, that's not why I didn't
Amen to that.
have my address. Due to the fact that when we broke up, Raymond left, and I did not have anybody in our home. It was me by
Oh,
myself.
no, that's not true. Now,
Well,
You know
I
what?
mean,
The point,
even after-
Mr. Lott, hold
when-
on,
okay.
stop. The fact that she's living with another man still does not excuse your payment of support. It is not the
understand
other
that,
man's
Tom.
responsibility to pay for your children. It may be his
understand that.
responsibility to pay rent and to pay for utilities since he's living in that household, but not to take care of your children. That's not his responsibility.
I understand that. I honestly do, Your
Oh,
Honor,
you do?
Yes.
So
but
then why
what
haven't
I'm
you
saying-
paid any money?
Because I didn't know where where I'm gonna send the money to. I don't
You
know.
have an address?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Lord, let's just end this little debate right
But
now.
What I'm saying is
Really, he doesn't need the address because
Here.
the address that I have is just an apartment number that's different.
You write down the address, Mrs. Lott, because
Okay.
you want some support. And you need to learn, and I don't know when the point is going to get to your head, you got to take away all the excuses for people not sending you support. You give them an address, you give them a phone number.
Okay.
Then they can never use that excuse
Your Honor,
anymore.
she-
You have to take away the excuses for not seeing your children.
But,
You
Your
go
Honor,
to
what I'm
court,
saying
you
is
get an
she-
address.
All right.
Now, do you work, Mr. Lott?
Yes, ma'am.
You love these children too, don't you?
Right?
Because you were real proud about that son. Is the other one a daughter?
No,
No,
it's
it's
a
a boy.
I got 2 boys.
You got 2 boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I know your chest is sticking out. I see that smile on your face when you say
Yeah,
2 boys.
But I'm
Feel
saying
it?
she's saying now.
You feel real good about that,
I
don't you?
wouldn't have a problem with paying, child support or whatever. But I'm saying she's saying $430, man. What she want me to do? She want me to pay for where she stay?
Now, Yana,
I don't
this
know.
is a
She wants
perfect
you. It's
example.
2 kids, right?
2 of them.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
Are you living with another woman that has children?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that.
And an update on the case of Terry Williams versus Larry Williams.
I found letters that she had written to her sister stating that she wanted to know what it was like to sleep with a black man, and she was going to accomplish that at any cost.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back in the case of Ginger Lott, who says her husband Raymond takes care of his new girlfriend and her child while turning his back on his own.
You think $400 a month is too much?
Well, it's more than I can afford, Your Honor. I don't think, if I was making the money, I wouldn't care how much it was to take
How do you
care
think
of
you
them,
would? How much money do you think you'd have to be making to pay him $400?
Well, really, I don't have an idea about how. Well, I
You
know
living
it would
with
have to be
another
more than
woman?
what I'm making now.
Are you living with another woman?
Yes, ma'am. Now,
So now, is your other woman taking care of your boys?
no.
So why you think the man she living with is supposed to take care of him?
But he's taking care of hers.
Huh? You didn't tell me that. You're not living with another woman that has children and you feeding them.
What it is, she
Yeah.
works out, so she takes care of her children also.
Are you
so-
living with another woman that has children?
Yes.
How many?
1.
And you paying the rent at that house?
Yes.
And buying food?
Yes.
Paying utility bills?
Yes.
Buying clothes?
Yes.
But for the 2 children that you're so proud of,
Right.
you're not taking care of them.
Like I said, I was giving her money, Your Honor. She said the money I gave her wasn't even enough.
Well, you know what? It probably isn't enough.
What money?
No, that's all right, Miss Lott.
Now,
Mr. Lott. These children are going to be taken care of. And $400 per month, that's $200 per month per child. Is not a lot of money. So while you were running around not being in love and just marrying this woman because you wanted to, you should have thought about that. So now you have a responsibility. I'm going to make you equally as proud of those children because you're going to feel good about paying that $400 every month.
What about
Court's adjourned.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Terry Williams versus Larry Williams.
I found my lingerie on the floor, a pair of her shoes on the floor next to my bed, and our wedding pictures face down on our headboard.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. Are you involved in a dispute with a neighbor, friend, relative, or business person? To appear before a real judge on a new court show, call 877-777-0099. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Terry Williams said her marriage to Larry ended after he cheated on her with their nanny.
I found letters that she had written to her sister stating that she wanted to know what it was like to sleep with a black man, and she was going to accomplish that at any cost. I found my lingerie on the floor, a pair of her shoes on the floor next to my bed, and our wedding pictures face down on our headboard. He told me what's going on between you two, and she was like, he told you we've been together? I said, no, not really, but you just did.
What the devil possessed you to sleep with the nanny?
She ruined my life.
Terry wanted Larry to reimburse her $500 for the babysitter's salary. After hearing the evidence, the judge ordered Larry to pay Terry the money. Larry says his affair with a babysitter is over, And his relationship with Terry is worse than ever. Terry says she is sorry to lose contact with Larry's kids, but they both feel they cannot be friends, and she is moving on with her new life. Terry recently splurged on a new sports car, and in the fall she's trading in her job as a truck driver for a career as a disc jockey.
I understand I should have paid for my kids, but I feel like it shouldn't have been so much money.
I really wanted to bring up the point that he hadn't seen the kids, and just because I didn't give him an address and I lived in the same apartment complex, that he still could see the kids. He didn't want to see our children. That's the whole thing. He's so proud of them, but he does not want to see those kids.
No, I don't think I'll be having any more kids.